Good afternoon, adventurers, and welcome to another video walkthrough for Bless Unleashed. We are going to be walking through / running through again Sundered Sanctuary, Dreamscale Ruins. This should be one of the first, if not the first, dungeons you should be doing at level 30. One of the easier dungeons for sure, to say the least. We're running with my level 39 Zerk, gear score of 1350-ish. We have a pretty lower level group, I would say, today. We don't have anyone crazy right now. We're running some alts through the dungeon again, trying to get them some of their first playthroughs. So first things first, with Sundered Sanctuary, the first group of mobs you see here walking back and forth, all these mobs can be avoided. This is something that has come up quite a bit in the community as far as this dungeon is concerned. You can avoid these mobs in Sundered Sanctuary, yes. If you pull them, you will more than likely be kicked out of this dungeon. I mean, although it only takes roughly a minute, maybe a minute and a half to kill these mobs, people just hate when people pull these mobs. It is what it is. You can avoid them. I'm going to show you how to avoid every single one of them right here. But know that if you pull these in the Abyssal Sundered, that is for sure worth a kick, because that will add an extra 5, maybe 8 minutes to the dungeon, depending on how good you guys are at DPSing down the healers that they have with them. It can be a real big pain. So it's good to practice here in the regular Sundered Sanctuary, and then take that same movement and everything over to the Abyssal. So just pay attention to how we're doing everything here. Normally there are 2 guards right here that are missing, that our other buddy pulled them already, so they're gone. When they walk back like that, you run past them real quick. It's the easiest way to get through them. So these are the 2 guys that he pulled. We're just going to DPS them down. Just make sure you don't pull those guys that are still walking through over there. It could be again, people will kick you. It's kind of a ridiculous thing to do in a regular Sundered Sanctuary, but I've seen it multiple times. So the first guy we got here, I believe, is the Black Knight Captain. If I'm not mistaken, that's his name. He has 3 damage checks. Black Sun Captain, sorry. 3 damage checks. He has one at 80, 50, and 20. With your group, depending on who you have, if you've got mages, rangers, so on and so forth, if you've got Mark on this guy and you've got a mage dropping meteors or a Zerk doing Earthbreaker, these damage checks should be nothing for you guys. If you have a full group of priests, maybe it might be a little tougher, but the damage check on this guy is really not that tough for the regular dungeon. I would say, if anything, just have your 2 DPSers, whoever it is, keep their the big attacks, their burst attacks, for the 80, 50, 20 if you don't feel comfortable. But in general, I think this is probably one of the easier DPS checks in the game. So Black Sun Captain, he's going to run back in the middle at 80, and this is where you DPS him down. Obviously, with our group, we're probably going to be DPSing through a little bit of this for the most part. I know it's going to go down fast. But regardless, it's a very simple dungeon. His attacks don't really do anything. Just stay out of the fire, obviously, if you can. The ticks up from the fire don't do a crazy amount of damage. But those damage checks, if you fail them, it's a pain in the butt. He'll throw up fire in the air. He'll put more fire on the ground around you. It can do a lot more damage. So just avoid missing those damage checks. So as you can see here, we're going to DPS him down. I think if you actually DPS him down fast enough, I'm not sure if we did it here or not, you can DPS past the DPS check. So which means he won't even go into a DPS check phase. Like you saw there, actually. We didn't even do one at the 20%. We just went right by it. It happens sometimes. I don't know if it's a glitch or if it's meant to be like that because we're going so fast. Regardless, the Black Sun Captain is one of the easier bosses, to say the least, in these dungeons. Okay, now that he's dead, a little video is going to pop up. It's going to show you the pathway out. Remember, those guys are still walking around. Avoid pulling them as you're walking through to the next area. Your objective is to not pull them. Remember this. Like I said, in the Abyssal, if you happen to pull these guys, even after you killed that first boss, I've seen groups kick people out of Abyssals just because they pulled these characters. So just be wary when you're coming out here. Turn your camera to the left like this. Let's see where they are. All right, they're at the bottom. All right, run through. Note that they come up past this bonfire. They come up past that. So if you're here attacking these 2 priests and the blade guy, and you happen to move back too far, you'll pull them even from that fire. So be very careful with that. So with these Priests, you're obviously just going to DPS down the priests so that'll heal. If they heal, I believe they only heal for 30% of the HP of these guys, so it's not a crazy deal if you do miss the DPS check. Not that you will, but it happens. Once these guys are dead, we're going to move on to our second mob for this little hallway. Once these guys are dead, we're going to move on to our second mob for this little hallway. So the second mob, scariest of all, they're terrifying. You know, they could get you. No, but really, it's just a bunch of frogs. Just blow through them. It won't take you very long, trust me. As you can see here, it's a whirlwind of death running through the frogs. Okay, once these guys are down, you have this second area. When you walk through your heads up, there is a chest that you can pull potions from every once in a while, hanging around. I don't know if we got one here or if somebody grabbed it, but there is a chest in here. Just be wary of that, that's all. Oh, right there, you see right there. Somebody already grabbed it. So now, in this second boss fight, you can have the possibility of 3 different enemies. You've got the Axeman, the Polearm, and the Club. I believe here we got the Club guy, if I'm not mistaken. We're going to see right now. Yeah, so we got Club. So we call this guy Grogula. We call him Hands. So what happens is every 3rd or 4th attack, he'll drop hands on the ground. Your objective as the guy with the shield, when you pick up the shield, you want to be on top of him. This will keep the hands from spreading around the entire floor. When those hands spread around the entire floor, they do it's a pretty good amount of tick damage it'll do. As you can see here, hands, they'll stand, for the most part, right on top of me. What you should do is have the whole group on the guy at the same time. That's how you keep the hands from spreading. Sorry, I should have mentioned that. Whole group. Now, these blue guys, they took this away where you could actually avoid these guys. Now you need to DPS them down. Do not try to avoid them. Do not try to go up the stairs. It won't happen. Just DPS these guys down. Note that the blue, even though it might not look like it's there, you'll see I'm going to walk right into it right now. It will kill you very fast. So avoid the blue streaks. As you can see, they're actually the Satyr went down, I believe. Yeah, the Satyr went down. Sometimes it doesn't pop up on your screen, and it will kill you extremely fast. So avoid the blue lines. Once they pass through, someone can pick up the shield again and repeat the same process. Very simple. Axeman, when he's there, the Axeman, you can keep the Axeman at bay if you, whoever has a shield, stands slightly out of his ring of death, that he'll drop 1,000,000 axes from the air. Just stay slightly out of that ring and keep moving him ever so slightly. Normally, I would suggest a melee to do that with the axe guy, because with the melee, you can actually, you can let the range characters do damage. With the melee, you can't really do anything with that. If I'm not, actually, I think, if I'm not mistaken here, I think the baby was crying. That's why I had to run away from the keyboard for a second. And I had my buddy dropping heal orbs underneath me while I was going to keep me alive. That's a good teammate right there, just saying. So the axe guy, yeah, you can just stay out of his ring of death ever so slightly if you have the shield, and you can keep luring him along the edge of the arena, and that's how you keep, that's how you basically beat the axe guy. The last but not least, you've got the polearm guy. The polearm frog, he will shoot coins at you when he does his DPS phase. Let's call it a DPS phase. When he goes to the corner, he'll pick a person out of the group, and he'll shoot coins out of his spear. When he shoots those coins, if you're not wary and you're the guy that's being shot at, and you just start running all over the place, it will shoot coins everywhere and it will hit everybody. It could kill your entire group really quick. Just be wary of that. If it's focused on you, try to get into a corner where your teammates are not, and move back and forth ever so slightly to try to keep that from hitting your whole team. So same thing here. We're going to DPS through one, hopefully, through these guys to not get killed. It's good to save either an Earthbreaker or a Meteor or anything. Just be wary that if you do what I just did there and you leap in on them or you get too close and you get behind them, they can kill you pretty quickly, so just be wary of that. If you're standing in that blue, you'll go down fast. And that's basically it for those 3 frogs. I think it's Grogula, Grogula 2, Grogula 3. I really don't remember the names of the other guys, but you'll see when you fight them. So that's basically it for these second boss. Now, for this second hallway, technically? Second hallway. Same thing with this. You want to try to avoid pulling these mobs. Normally, people won't kick you if you pull these guys because you're already so far in. They don't really want to kick somebody on the third boss, but just be wary. If you take your time, like I am here, you see them walking around, you can avoid them by going up to the fountain, hugging the fountain around the corner, and then shooting for the right column of that hallway. See how the satyr there, he actually pulled those guys just by running at an angle through? You'll always pull them like that. Do not do that. It will get you kicked from a dungeon. I know it's ridiculous, but it will happen. You're going to see here, I'm going to say, satyr shouldn't have done that or something like that. Just to throw it out there because, like I said, this will kick you so fast, get you kicked out of a dungeon so fast. It's ridiculous. And I know it's a little toxicity of the people in the game sometimes, but you know, it does increase the length of the dungeon. I know people are trying to run through this fast, so just be wary of that. So Miniyama, I believe is this last boss's name, however you want to say it. She has a couple of weird things about her. First off, she will do a bubble sphere around your head. She'll blow you all back, like you'll see here. She'll put a bubble sphere around your head. Just make sure you hit this button, whatever it is, and this will actually heal you for most of your HP, if not full HP. When this happens, you just try not to avoid it. The big things with her is she'll put a circle of lightning around her. You want to be outside of her circle in the beginning, and then once that hits, you want to be inside. You'll see here, outside, and then you want to be inside because it hits outside. Pretty simple. Just if you're in a long combo, you might get hit by this. It probably won't kill you if you get hit by it, and it definitely won't hit you twice. It'll only hit you that one time. It won't hit you on both the outside and inside. Waterfalls, obviously you're going to try to avoid these. If you are doing either Earthbreaker or Guillotine, as far as the Zerka point of view, you can actually DPS through that and it won't actually knock you up. Just heads up. Now, she'll go to a DPS check at 85%. The DPS check should be fairly simple. She'll send waterfalls down to meet her and past her. You obviously want to avoid these. These are an insta-kill. You'll see a wall of waterfall there. We got through the DPS check already. We have a pretty good group here. And not only that, when you DPS her that quickly, and her waterfalls are still going, you want to make sure that when she does her bubble again, she's going to push everyone back. Be out of the way of those waterfalls. She might bubble you into the one, like you see here. You might get bubbled into the waterfall, and that can also kill you. So be wary of that. If you're DPSing her too fast, that can happen. Yes, I know. That sounds ridiculous, DPSing someone. Last but not least, we have the Thunder Shock here. She will single out one person. That one person, when being hit with this Thunder Shock, the line of lightning, you want to move away from your teammates. If you are near your teammates, it will do a crazy amount of damage and for sure wipe out a team of new players. It would decimate a whole team. So, like I said, if you have the lightning on you, just avoid everyone else. Go to a corner, hang out, just chill out. It's your time to, drink some coffee, go to the bathroom, whatever you got to do. Maybe not go to the bathroom, but you know what I mean. Just stay away from everyone else. Her second DPS is going to be at 35%, which is here. Same thing, waterfalls are going to come. DPS past her phase. Avoid the waterfalls at all costs. Because, like I said, they're an instant kill. Similar to the Eclipse dungeon. Last but not least, she'll do one more attack that's different at 11 or 10%. She'll send lightning down around the entire arena. If you have a heal ring on, you don't need to wear this. You can just keep attacking her and you'll probably be fine. This is one of those when you jump out, jump in again. But like I said, at 10% she'll do thunderbolts that rain from the heavens, basically. You can avoid this if you go to the corners of the dungeon. If you go to the corners of the room, you can avoid this attack, that right there. It doesn't do a crazy amount of damage. I don't think you really need to avoid it. Even the other Zerker and the Satyr, no one really got hurt that much by this. And they weren't using heal rings. And that's basically Miniyama right there in a nutshell. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you guys watching.